So the u3a is marking its 40th anniversary, and to celebrate, a rather special quilt has been made in the county, in Witney. It's been made by Jane Clark and Anne Francis, and I'm glad to say that they are in the studio with me now. Jane, hello.
Hello.
Anne, hello.
Hello.
I'm so glad that people are in here in real life and not just on the phone. We're allowed to do that now. It's great, so thank you so much for coming in. So, first question, it's probably a bit of a silly question. What is a quilt?
A quilt is simply a bed covering made of fabric.
Okay.
Traditionally, they've been made from scraps.
Right.
And put together with a method called patchwork.
Okay.
And then that is layered with some wadding to make it nice and warm, and a backing, and stitched through, and that's the bit that's called quilting.
Oh, okay, so that's the actual process, is the quilting.
Yes.
I got you, okay. And, well, I guess, Anne, and this is a question for you as well, what got you into quilting? What sort of started the love of quilting for you two?
Well, I originally always loved embroidery, and anything to do with a needle I liked. So I thought I would just learn how to make a quilt. Quilt is actually patchwork. It's patchwork material, pieces, odds and ends of pieces of material joined together, and then it's quilted to join it with the backing.
So it's sort of like recycling old...
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay,
yes,
right, that's great,
yes,
okay.
Yes. So I went on a course when I was living in Torquay for 8 weeks.
Wow.
And in 8 weeks I did 8 18-inch squares.
Wow, okay.
All of different names. The squares are all called... They're a very, very traditional thing to do. And all the types of designs you do are all different
That sounds
names.
like quite an intensive course.
Oh,
8
absolutely.
weeks, was it quite tough?
It was very tough, yes.
How were your fingers at the end of it? Were they aching?
Yes, but I tell you, I really learnt a lot.
Yeah, I'm
It was
sure you
really
did.
Wonderful.
That's incredible.
And yeah.
So it's the 40th anniversary this quilt is celebrating.
Yes.
So tell us about u3a first of all, and how sort of important this 40th anniversary is coming up.
Right. Well, u3a is a national organisation made up of lots of local groups that meet together. Most of them have monthly talks. But one thing that makes them different from any other sort of organisation is they have interest groups, which means any members can get together, form a group and meet whenever they like. You can do it for any subject. There's no minimum number or maximum number of people in the group or how many times you meet. The only rule we have, well, I say rule, the guidance is that you don't have paid tutors for these groups or for u3a talks. It's the members are helping other members.
Okay.
So we're all sharing our knowledge. And,
that's really lovely.
That makes it great fun, and we all learn a lot, and it's a very good way to make friends when you're retired.
And how long have you been a part of it yourself?
About 15 years at least.
Okay, wow,
Yes.
wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
It's open to anybody who's no longer in full-time employment.
Right,
So, of
okay.
course, most of us are retired, but you don't actually have to be retired to be a member.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice. And so this quilt that you've helped make is
Yes.
celebrating the 40th anniversary,
Yes.
and you've made it in Witney. And
No, we haven't made it in Witney. No, it was a national competition.
Got you,
and,
okay.
So people from all over the country submitted the squares that are in it, and 40 of them were chosen because it was the 40th anniversary.
Right, yes.
And a lady, I think it's Newcastle, actually put it together.
Okay,
And she quilted it. And it was originally unveiled at the Whitworth Gallery in Manchester.
Lovely, okay.
And they were going to display it, but unfortunately for some reason they weren't able to, so u3a looked for another place to exhibit it. And very kindly, the Blanket Hall in Witney has agreed to display it for the next 12 months.
There you go, that's
so that's
fabulous.
how it comes to be in Witney.
Okay, because Witney and blankets go together quite well, don't
Very,
they?
yes.
Can you just give us a little bit of the history about that? Maybe Anne can give us a little bit.
I don't know too much about Witney and the blankets because I've only been here for 4 years.
Okay, back to Jane then.
I know a little bit, partly because I'm in the local history group with u3a.
Right, there you go, it's
obviously
perfect.
we've done it. Yes. Witney is... Its major industry was blanket making.
Right.
Due to the agriculture locally, it was very good for keeping sheep, and there was a breed of sheep called Cotswold Lions that produce very good fleece for wool.
Okay.
And this was eventually used for making blankets. Also, the waters around Witney were very good they could help run the mills, and of course they were very good for washing the blankets as well.
Right, so it's just steeped in blanket history.
Yes, that's right. And there were a number of them around, and the blanket hall was built as a centre for trading the blankets, for selling them on and making sure that they complied with the standards that were required for good blankets.
Got you. Okay. And I was excited today because I saw that we were doing this thing on the quilt, and I thought you were going to bring in the quilt, the physical
it's too
one.
big.
But you've given me photocopies
Yes.
of sort of pictures of the quilt,
Yeah.
which is fine. But I'm sure it doesn't do it justice. So
No,
if
doesn't.
anyone wants to see it in real life, you mentioned Witney. How can they go and see it?
Right, just go into the blanket hall, which is at one end of the high street in Witney. It's on display upstairs. There's no entry fee. This hall is open to sell blankets. It's part of another business that the Cotswold... what are they called? The Cotswold Weavers, I think.
Cotswold Weavers, okay.
Yes, and blankets that this company make are on sale there.
That's incredible.
And it has a very nice little cafe as well. So you
Oh,
can have
lovely,
a
there you go.
cup of coffee and a garden to sit in if you want to sit in the garden.
Oh,
And
fabulous.
the quilt will be on display upstairs. And it's very interesting to go and see it because the history of blanket making in Witney is up there, and there's a lot about the history of the town up there. So
Brilliant.
it makes a very interesting visit.
So, Anne, I'd love to ask you. So, you knitted, you quilted a bit for the quilt in
Yes.
one of the patches.
Yes.
How did you feel? What kind of emotions did you have when you saw the final product and you saw yours
Oh,
there
it
in
was
the quilt?
incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
To see all the ideas that people had taken on and put it onto a piece of 10-inch square material was unbelievable. Yes.
Oh,
it
fabulous.
had a lot of clapping and
Oh, good.
whooping going on.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And go and see it if you're around Witney. Go and have a look at this quilt because it's fabulous. And Jane and Anne, thank you so much for joining this afternoon. Thank you.
you.
Cheers.
BBC Radio Oxford.